Welcome back to the variety show with Liam, and it is my great honor to introduce one of the wackiest, craziest people I reckon I've ever met so far, Anastasia Elfman, who's done a lot of great work in the horror industry, sort of indie films across America. If you're in America, you might have seen their screenings for Forbidden Zone and Bloody Bridget. Let's bring her in. How are you doing?
Yes, hi. I'm doing great. So happy to be here with
Is
you
this
chatting.
Yes? Is this your first time ever being interviewed in Australia? Like for someone here in Australia?
I think so. I think so. I don't, I've been doing so many interviews, but they're all kind of stateside. So I believe you're the first. So congratulations.
I
And
am
to me too. I feel so lucky.
Yeah, I'm absolutely honored to be the first one to do it. So hopefully, because there's like a lot of film festivals going around at the moment. There's one called Monster Fest in October, November, being screened over here at Cinema Nova. So hopefully, after today's episode, hopefully they can get in contact with you guys and bring down your great iconic screenings to Australia, because it'd be something I'd be absolutely thrilled to be part of and go watch.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, we've taken Bloody Bridget, and then sometimes we'll do kind of a double feature bill and like screening events. So with my husband's kind of cult classic film Forbidden Zone, and so we'll screen the two films and have like a wonderful weird pre-show. And so we've been to like the south of Brazil all the way to like the tip top of Canada and everywhere in between, but we have not been out your way yet, so that would be amazing. I mean, we're kind of winding down the festival run for our film Bloody Bridget just because we want to release it. Because once you release it, you can't do the festivals, unless they're doing it's a little tricky. But yeah, that would be super fun. I would love to. What an
Is there
experience.
is there any places in Australia you'd like to go if you're given this opportunity?
I mean, just probably all of the touristy places, and then I hope to like meet some fans or friends out there, and then they can take me to all the like in the know places. So I'm open because I've
Yeah,
never personally been, so I'm like I have no judgment on where to go. I just want to have a fun
yeah,
time, meeting
it's
some nice
beautiful.
people.
I
Yeah,
was
it is.
doing I was doing a bit of quick research before, and there's actually a great horror film, if you've heard of it before, called Razorback from 1984. Kind of similar vein to Jaws, where there's a wild animal on the loose and devouring and murdering a whole bunch of people. Have you heard of the name Razorback before, the film?
I haven't. It's funny. I was like doing a little thinking before this too, and it's funny. Some films I didn't realize were from out there. Like what was it, Daybreakers? I didn't realize that that was Australian film. I just assumed that it was American. Silly me.
Yeah.
It's so good. But no, I wasn't. I wasn't. I'm not familiar with that one, but I see now I'm so inspired. I have to do like deep dives on all of those films. That gives me something to add to our watch list because I feel like Rick and I always want to have new things to watch, and we're always kind of like, what do we do? What do we watch? We can't just watch Seinfeld every night, you know? Or we're getting into a lot of like English murder mysteries. Like we like Vera and Morse, and we kind of like Grantchester as well. So we're watching a lot of those right now.
Sounds absolutely wonderful. Going back to your initial roots, where does everything really begin for you?
For acting and performing, I grew up in the theater. I'm classically trained in ballet, so I've been doing that since age 3, and doing theater and performing. And then I picked up the cello around like first or second grade, and so just doing that. So that's kind of where it started. I mean, I feel like I'm an older sister, and I feel like I was always kind of roping my little sister Cassie into performing with me. Like I was of course, like kid who was doing plays for the family and like getting really like I just remember having like these plastic containers full of like costumes and making her and her friends or my friends like get into the plays and perform for all the parents. So I don't know, maybe I was a little obnoxious, but that's that's me. I'm kind of bossy too, so older sister, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So horror, obviously, something that is you're especially known for as well, with all those performance pieces we were talking about earlier. What made you really passionate about this genre of film and cinema in general?
With horror as
Yes.
a focal, I would say what made me really fall in love with horror was just the fact of the outsider, the monster. I was talking to you a little bit before we started recording, and I have severe dyslexia. That's kind of I don't want to say handicap. I think of it as a superpower that makes me really special, and I can focus in and get hyper focused on the things that I'm obsessed with, and that helps me with work. I can listen to the same song over and over while I'm choreographing or performing, or I can run my lines 1,000 times. I love rehearsal. That's the dancer in me. Anyways, growing up with that, the teachers, they didn't really understand how to deal with the way that I learn. And so that kind of always made me feel like an outsider, kind of like a monster. And so I always kind of identified with the creatures or the monsters or like, the hunchback, something like that, where it's like, on the inside, I felt super different from everybody else, and I would have to pretend to be like quote unquote normal, and I would have to pretend to know how to read music, when I was learning, or know how to do math, and so that's where, like, I would say the rule of like the 10,000 hours, that's where I was getting my like acting training, was masking and pretending that I was fine, but yeah, so that's kind of where I identify with horror. And I mean, and then later on as a, teenager and adult, as an actress, that's, where I find the fun roles. I don't have to be just somebody's girlfriend or wife. I can be, the twist villain, and, I can look normal and preppy or whatever, and then end up being like a demonic monster or something, or like a serial killer. Like those are fun for me because I get bored. I want to have fun while I'm creating. And so like, doing like a sad film, unless, somebody's killing me or vice versa, I'm not super interested.
Beautiful. What were those first horror films you reckon you watched growing up? What was the first ones you reckon you were exposed to that said, "Yep, I'm gonna love this forever"?
I mean, I always say my first like horror film introduction was Lon Chaney Sr.'s 1925 Phantom of the Opera. Like that's where that kind of like made acting real. That made creating real for me. Seeing that artistry, um, just that whole, just realizing that, oh, okay, creating that can be what I do with my life. And then I guess the rest would be just like like those classic like 80s films like Chucky, John Carpenter's The Thing, Gremlins. I love all kinds of horror. I love gateway horror. I like practical effects driven horror, like American Werewolf and London. I love all of these, I love all the sub genres in horror.
Beautiful. My first exposure, I reckon, to horror came in the form of 2004 Shaun of the Dead. So we're going horror
Ooh.
comedy for me. So I chose quite one that's a bit light in terms of horror compared to maybe some of the classic stuff, but it really got me going because then I saw Get Out actually at age 18 for media studies. That was something. Have you seen the film before at all? Get Out?
What was the last film?
Get Out,
Oh, Get Out.
2017.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that one, of course. And then Shaun of the Dead, iconic.
So great. So those were my real exposures to it. And I'm actually on Sunday going to see Jaws here in Geelong for its 50th anniversary.
Oh, amazing. Okay, like in a big theater or
Yeah,
screened on the.
it's got we got a few cinemas around here in Geelong, so I'm going to see it. It's going to be great. It's my first time really seeing it, so it's kind of a blind view for me because I've never really seen the film at all. I've seen the iconic clips. So yeah,
Oh,
very something
wow.
that I'm looking forward to. Where do you stand with the film, sort of 50 years on, I guess, from a cinematic point of view?
With Jaws?
Yes, with yours.
Oh, I mean, iconic. It's so great. You would think we're gonna get need a bigger boat. It's so wonderful just thinking about practical effects and how they had to basically create out of the problems, where it was this shark was supposed to be featured much more, and then because of like technical difficulties, it was more of a hidden character, which I thought lended so well to the story. I mean, I feel bad for the artists who, like they're like, I want to see my work. I spent, so much of my time on this, but I think it helped make it a better film. But yeah, I love creature features. I know he's a shark, so I understand, but I still kind of consider he's kind of in there with the, creature from the Black Lagoon adjacent. Or like what
Yeah,
was it? Deep Blue Sea, kind of vibing with that a little bit. Like I imagine he escaped something, some
yeah, it's
genetic
a yeah.
mutation.
Mm. It's a great film that I reckon it focuses more on, like you said, the practical effects and tension and suspense, which is something that is really not really seen, I guess, much these days. It's more focuses on gore, horror, body horror, whatever. Is there maybe we go back to doing it the way it was back then that made it so great, that tension and suspension and anticipating the unknown?
I think that would be a great idea. I think we definitely should revisit a lot of the things that were great, and older classic films. I guess Jaws would be considered a classic film now. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's like the jump scares are really in right now. But I guess also, I mean, I feel like that's a little hard to do in this day and age just because of social media and like promo for films. It's hard to keep anything really secret anymore, because the studios are wanting like influencers and people to brag about the film. And it's like, how do you keep something secret like that? You know what I mean? I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like the last thing that I saw, and this was like quite a few, well, not quite a few, but a few years ago, was Barbarian. I went in blind, had no idea what was going on. I don't know if you've seen that film, but it's terrific. But it was full of so many twists and turns, and I felt so lucky not to know anything going in because I that's how I prefer to view a film, you know. But it's hard nowadays avoiding spoilers online.
Yeah, definitely indeed. A film that I really want to visit at some point is Fright Night from
Hmm.
1985. Similar veins like Bloody Bridget with the whole vampire trope and everything. What's your thoughts on that one, Fright Night, 1985?
Love Fright Night. We're friends with the director. He's great. He's my favorite. Tom Holland, right? And who else? Chris Sarandon. He's great. Amazing. Um, Great practical effects. I love it.
Beautiful. Speaking of Bloody Bridget, it's a film that you and Richard sort of did collaboratively 2023. I hear rumors swirling around that there is a second one in development. Tell us a bit about the film. What is it about?
Well, for Bloody Bridget, oh my gosh, how do I describe this film? This is usually where Rick would come in and he would do like the little pitch that he does as the director. But I would say kind of like a burlesque artist in the valley. She kind of gets mistaken for being this voodoo deity's like lost wife, and so he is going to help her remember who she is, and so she's also like kind of like mistreated and abused, and so once she gets like these powers, it's on. Like revenge is beautiful for her. And so it's kind of like, is she actually Bloody Bridget? Isn't she? And so it's just like a really fun, crazy movie. I kind of think of it like almost like an Evil Dead versus like maybe a little bit Beetlejuicy. I don't know. It's a really like fun, crazy movie that audiences just seem to love. Every time we have a screening, they're sold out, and I generally don't watch the films that I'm in just because I'm like, oh God, is that my voice? But I enjoy watching this film with an audience because they're so vocal and like when the bad guys get it and when they see Bloody Bridget, kind of transform into like her demon self. And it's a blast.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it here and there online from your account. And it looks great. Like I can definitely attest to being like Beetlejuice. It's crazy. It's out there. It's outlandish. It's absolutely very fun. So yeah, I guess that answers also where the film may have taken inspiration from those elements from those films. Your iconic screenings, as we mentioned earlier, with your husband, from what I've seen so far online, it's absolutely fun, fantastic. If someone was to attend one of these shows, what are they in for?
They're in for a wild time. And I'd just like to go back a little bit. I wouldn't say that Rick was inspired by those films. He was inspired by actual like Haitian voodoo like folklore. And he's a professional Latin percussionist. And so in that in voodoo there's like different deities and things, and so it's very respectful to that culture. So I wouldn't say that it's inspired by anything other than that, and then kind of riffs on a version of that, with the kind of like burlesque angle. But what should people expect when they're coming to our shows? I mean, grab a drink and hold on to the seat, because it's going to be a wild night. I love I wish I was born in the time of like vaudeville because I love live performance. I love touring. And so I try to bring an element of that into the theater. And I like to surprise the audience. We do Rick whenever we go, like when festivals or theaters are able to bring us out for screenings. Rick will tap into the music, the like local musical talent and create like a band. And then depending on what the show is, if it's like a Bloody Bridget, like plus Forbidden Zone or a Forbidden Zone show, then I'll tap into the like local burlesque talents and I'll come up, I'll have some other dancers and I'll like deal with them and produce that aspect. But yeah, it's just a fun, wild time. And so when I do my Bloody Burlesque act for the Bloody Bridget, so much blood screenings, I literally grab an audience member, drag him on stage, and rip out his beating heart and eat it in front of everybody. And it's a laugh. But don't bring the kids, okay?
Uh, Practical effects. It sounds like you've got something very great on your hands there, and something I reckon
Definitely.
for our Australian Hall of fans will absolutely love. Where has been the best attendance for your shows? Like, what's been the best audience for you, you reckon?
I mean, I would say all everywhere we go, we get such support from these. I mean, I think every festival we've done have been like indie horror festivals or indie festivals, and we've just had so much love and support from them, and they really rally for us, and then we bring a really great show for them, to help promote. That's part of my thing. I love supporting other creators. I love supporting people in genre and in the independent film world or independent artist world. And so I like to use like, because like I would say I have a very tiny soapbox. And so I like to shout out all of these other creators because like like for me, I come from the stage, the theater, and it's all about support. There's no gatekeeping. If you know a better way to do it, then you're telling the next person. And it's very like make it work moments. And that's the kind of like, I would say that's the spirit that Rick and I bring to every screening, every performance. It's a whole. It's not just us, and I like to use that to like, shine a light on the local talent. Cause like we're all in this together.
That's very true indeed. it was Paul Reubens' birthday very, very recently. Such a brilliant actor and a comedic genius as well. I'm always getting real sent by my mom from Pee Wee's Playhouse and Pee Wee Herman and all that. What are you looking back on his work makes him so fantastic, and what moments really stick to him when someone asks you about him?
Oh man, that's such a huge question. He was so wonderful and iconic and just totally unique and kind. And I mean, now that we're seeing, the biopic and just knowing like people are sharing more about their experience with him, he's the guy who would send you a birthday card or call you, and be thinking about you. And that just makes me feel like I want to reach out more to my friends, because it's like everybody's busy and you have to remind yourself that like you don't need a reason to reach out, just say hi or I'm thinking of you or I love you. But for him, I don't know, where do you begin? He's so iconic and like he's like one of those creators that raised me, that made me the insane person I am today. Pee-wee's Playhouse, just the films, everything. He was just so unique, such an individual, and I just gone way too soon. And we
Mm,
got the privilege, our Rick's brother Danny, he has like Christmas, like themed Christmas parties, and so we would see him there every so, I mean, a lot of people coming in and out, so it's hard to like talk to everybody, but I remember getting to visit with him, and it's like you get those moments and it's like, oh my God, what do I say? Like you're everything to me.
yeah,
But yeah, so missed.
yeah, he's brilliant as well. I think he was featured in one of Danny's films he was a part of, Nightmare Before Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, completely. He's one of the three little trick-or-treaters. I think he's the devil, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I guess in terms of the Elfman family, he's there in spirit. He was a part of that great film, and I always loved his gags that he did with, especially the one with the balloon. There's a real my mom said meets, and it was today I'm going to do something about the procrastination, and then it's him doing the balloon gag. It's absolutely very funny and very hilarious for anyone like who just suffers struggles with motivation. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, he's so funny. And then just like his commitment to character, and you watch these, I mean, I love doing research, and so randomly I'll like come across a video of him, and like he's like interviewing people as Pee Wee Herman, or he's doing an interview, like a late night talk show, and he's Pee Wee Herman. So it's just perfection.
Yeah, I think another one of my favorite moments are he did one for Conan O'Brien Late Show. He came, it was obviously green screen done it, and he was on the jet ski, like water skis and all that. And he actually jumped through the screen. And it was like, I think it was just a very great use of his character and just like a very great way for him to enter the studio, just full Pee Wee Herman style.
No, nobody like him. I mean, he's uh, yeah. I mean, he's so missed and so iconic, and just like hilarious, just a comic genius.
Mm,
Nobody like him.
beautiful. You love Oingo Boingo, B-52's Law, those great alternative acts, new wave for the 1980s, and likewise for myself. What albums do you reckon describe yourself and why?
Okay, well, I'm so biased when it comes to Oingo Boingo. So it's like I don't know. I feel like there's so many different great songs, from all of their albums. How does anybody pick one to describe themselves? I mean, also the wonderful thing about Oingo Boingo is there's such these songs are like almost complete stories. I feel like it's like almost listening to a fairy tale in a way. Like I feel like my whenever I'm listening to them, my imagination goes off. It's just like so story driven. I don't know. What would you say for yourself?
Well, for me, gosh, I'm going to go with Danny Elfman's solo debut, which I do consider canon to the Oingo timeline. Anyone who is a fan definitely should consider his first solo album timeline canon. Gratitude. Opener from
Yeah.
Solo.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good description. Yes, yes. I would agree. I'm very grateful for everything. And that's a great music video. My husband was in it and his son Louis, and so that's always fun to go watch, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah, he was a great director for the early years, for the IRS years. Absolutely great one. What about other bands as well? Like, what about for like Talking Heads, B-52s? What other albums and songs do you reckon describe yourself with them?
Oh man. I don't know if I would describe myself from any songs. I just know that I love those bands. Oh man, you're putting me on the spot with this one.
Well, that's all
I,
right.
I don't know. I love those bands. So I'm just gonna say their whole discography would be me.
Beautiful.
So wacky.
I do have a copy of Big Mess. It is an absolutely wonderful album. Tell him that.
I
It's
have one too.
we
If I could run away and grab it, I would.
he
It's in
has
my living room. I feel like
uh
we have a like a bookcase and it's turned into like a shrine of Danny on accident, like because we have his hands and it's like the whole top shelf is like his Tim Burton and Danny Elfman like box that came out like I don't know 12 years ago or something like that. But yeah, I've got a bunch of his stuff. Yeah, Big Mess, killer album, right?
yeah. It's a great
So
one.
wild.
Yeah, lots of great songs on here, and even some like re-recordings as well. He did re-recordings of Insects from Nothing to Fear, which was absolutely killer.
Yes. Yeah, so great. I actually okay, so when we do our pre-shows for Ben and Zone, sometimes I'll do this character, this like crazy kooky character called Raunchy Rose, and so she does a crazy, just insane burlesque. It's not really burlesque, but I just say that because, you know, like I'm taking my top off, so there's like a little bit of nudity involved. But so I do that to Oingo Boingo's Insects. And then the last couple of years, I've been doing it to the new version. And it's like multimedia. So there's like visuals, there's like crazy visuals in the background. But yeah, so fun. I like both. They're so different that, you know, like I couldn't pick a favorite of the insects. But how incredible, what a wonderful album, and his first, and so like his first rock album in so long, it was like 30 years or something like that. And
Yeah.
then a little tidbit is that Bloody Bridget were the first to use one of his singles, so we have Cruel Compensation in the film, and we have a couple Oingo Boingo songs too, but that was fun to be the first. And so for my Bloody Bridget burlesque, I do it to Cruel Compensation. So I've listened to that one like thousands and thousands of times.
Like you know it off by heartbeat, pretty much.
Oh, complete. Yeah, I could do it. I know that song in my sleep. It's I actually have to between shows, between performances, I had to take a break from that album or that you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm like I listened to it too much and then it just I don't know. It's not that I go numb, but it's just like I don't know if you've ever like done like hyper focuses on things, but like where it's like I need a break. I've got to listen to something else. Because I have my favorites, my like go-to feel good, you know, albums or songs or like people where I'll listen to like one song and then I'll go to here and then I'll go to there, you know, like the playlist or whatever.
Beautiful. I did mention on Instagram, sorry, I was positive for something. Here it is. There's Only a Lad.
Yes, so great.
I was so happy when I found it because, like I said, it took me years to find anything Oingo Boingo, and it took me even longer to find Only a Lad. I'm still missing the final album, and I'm missing the Nuclear Cat EP from
And that's like
1980.
from the first release.
Yes, I've got, obviously, you know, I've got two copies of Nothing to Fear. I've got the X radio pressing for Nothing to Fear. I actually had this one imported from out your way in America for good for yourself. There was no way in hell I was finding it here in Australia. We got this was the first one I ever got, Dead Man's Party. Happy 40th anniversary. Such a great album and a great sort of I would call it like a soundtrack album because a lot of the songs were pulled for TV shows, movies, obviously Weird Science, pretty self-explanatory. Just Another Day went to Stranger Things in 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Then we got Boingo 87. Probably an underrated one for me, but I love Home Again. Great one. The Double Live album from 1988 for the celebration. And one I was not expecting to find, Dark at the End of the Tunnel. There you go.
Incredible. You've got a great collection going on.
And that's just a small bit of it. I mean, behind me, I've got a whole bunch of stuff from like rock, progressive rock, a bit of alt as well. Another one of my favorite bands is Devo. I mean, who doesn't love Devo? They're great.
They are, yes.
So I saw them live in 2023. They did a tour here in Australia. It was absolutely wonderful. Packed house in St Kilda in Melbourne. Do you have a favorite Devo album at all? Maybe you got one in the collection. I mean, they are that quirky sound like Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say like their earlier stuff is probably my favorite, you know. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that time had a lot of these like kind of wacky bands coming out, which is so great.
Mm. We had a few of them down our way here in Australia, well, more or less New Zealand. There was a band that got really famous in 1980 in America called Split Enz, but during their sort of underground years, they took on a real theatrical presence when they were a seven-piece and doing like art rock inspired by Roxy Music and Genesis and all that. They're like very theatrical. They had all these stage costumes, stage makeup, and everything. They were very crazy. Maybe something after the recording to check out. Some of their early stuff as well. Just absolutely wonderful. There's like videos and here and there and all there that have been uploaded. If you had to attend a show in history for a gig, where are we going and who are we seeing?
Oh man. Like a concert?
Yeah, for a concert, just anyone.
I don't know. I think I would like to like probably like just see Oingo Boingo. Yeah, that'd probably be like peak. You know, I mean, luckily we get a taste of that with Danny with his kind of his Big Mess you know, concerts from Big Mess from Batman to Big Mess and Boingo. I forget what they like what the official he has all of these different versions of concerts. You know, he's got like the music from Tim Burton and then the Nightmare Before Christmas, live to picture. So I get I get them all disjointed. But yeah, I mean, seeing like an actual like early days or yeah, I think that would be it. Just off the top of my head without prepping.
Yeah, I would say so because on their Rogo, I feel like they got the best international charting success here in Australia. That shows my hyperfixation for music for you. And I was very surprised that they never made it to Australia. So I would have loved to have seen them live if I had been in America. But yeah, I would love to see at one point maybe Danny comes back to Australia with those shows because we always get the soundtrack shows, but we never get the ones where he covers his whole career as one giant show.
Well, yeah, it's a big he has a big crew and big, you know, I think it's like an 80-piece orchestra. So that's hard to tour with. Or is it 60? I forget. It's a lot of people, a lot of artists. But yeah, we went to go see because they went to where did they go? They went to Las Vegas. And so I was like, Rick, we can't miss this. We have to go. And so we like drove to Las Vegas on a whim. And it was like it was a little terrible just because like I get sunburnt and I don't do well in the heat. And so I was like fighting heat exhaustion, but like we made it and we got to watch it. And it was so great because like I like to I don't want to give everything away, but I like to sneak behind the barricades and get right close to the stage and like get my little, you know, my little phone and take video and sing. You know, it's like I can't, I would say his shows for like the ones that like include his just everything. I mean, anytime he performs, it's like soul changing, I feel like to me. And it's just he's so into his art, and he's so talented, and we're so lucky that he shares his talent with all of us, right? I mean, he's just
Mm.
a creative genius. I'm, you know, but I'm very biased.
Yeah, true, true, true. Very true. Uh, if there's what is ahead for screenings, is there anything planned, I guess, in the future, or we are kind of gonna have to kind of wait until Bloody Bridget goes to streaming and then kind of come back next year?
Yeah, well, we've had this booked for a little while, so it was just kind of announced. We're going to Happy Fright Film Festival in October, and we're doing a screening of Bloody Bridget and Forbidden Zone on Saturday, October 18th, and with a Q&A, the Elfman live pre-show. I'm doing my like Bloody Burlesque as well, and then like a meet and greet afterwards. So that's in Fillmore. It's like kind of like, I don't know, an hour away from LA. So it's like kind of local. But yes, I think that's the last one that maybe we're going to. I'm not sure. It's hard to say no to these festivals because they're fans of Rick. And it's like, I love supporting all of these indie festivals. So I can't tell the future, but I feel like that might be the last one because I do want to, we're getting close to figuring out distribution, and it's been a thing where I don't want it to just go on a shelf and die. I want to continue to tour with it, and do these wild events because I feel like this day and age, while people do have the option to watch film at home, there's a communal like experience to like watching a film with other people and having an event. And I feel like nobody's doing these kind of like pre-show events like Rick and I do. And so we produce every aspect of it, from the music that people hear when they walk into the theater to the themed cocktails and drinks at the concession stand, to the lighting, to the multimedia aspects. Like we're working with our brilliant team to give everybody like a really wild experience. And so this is like one of my happy like places. It's like creating these things and coming up with like these kind of performances. And so I don't want to stop. I like doing it. I just collaborated with our friend Brian Usna, who's like a really great horror director, a reanimator, just so many things. I'm blanking. But so I created one of my wild bloody burlesque numbers for his recent Return of the Living Dead 3 screenings. And so I came out in character as the main character, Julie. And so I got to kill him. I ripped out his intestines and then ate his brain because it's like a zombie film. And so that was really fun. So I love creating these like themed bloody burlesque performances. So it gives like the audience a very like immersive experience, if that makes sense.
Yes, you got a bit of shock factors there, well, with the body horror. So there's really something for everyone when you go to one of these shows.
Completely. Yeah. And I love it too because it's always a challenge. A lot of times when we're touring, I'm lucky if I get to see the theater before the screening, before I perform. Like, usually, because like everybody's like trying to figure things out, I usually see the stage as soon as I step out on it to do my performance. So it's a lot of improvising. It's knowing my choreography, it's knowing my songs, it's knowing where everything is so that I can step out on stage and give professional performance, which, I mean, this is old hat for me, easy peasy. But it's a lot of like smoke and mirrors, and I feel like almost like a magician because I have to hide certain things on me or on like quote unquote victim, and it's like distraction, like throwing a bloody, gooey, like hair piece scalp this way so that the audience looks that way, and then I can like put a brain piece on Brian, or something goofy like that.
So there's lots of great venues out here in Australia. There's one out in Malvern called the Astor Theatre, which I reckon could house your screenings very well. It's nice and spacious. They're actually doing something with Tia Carey from Wayne's World this year to celebrate the
Ooh.
35th anniversary. Was maybe the 35th or something like that? It's one of the anniversaries for Wayne's World. But
Isn't that a
yeah,
great film? I love Wayne's World.
so
Like,
good.
I I recently rewatched it at like with our daughter, because like I'm doing a lot of like rewatches, so that because our daughter, she's like 17, and so I just want her to know all of her like film history, and especially like horror history. And so we're watching all of, like, I'm refreshing myself with all of these classic and wonderful films that I grew up on, and Wayne's World was one of those. I was like, "Oh my God, every moment is hilarious. So good." So
I
that's so
love.
exciting. I hope you're going.
Yes, I'm not sure if it might have already been, but I know I was
Oh
very
no. Okay,
interested.
never mind.
But still, yeah,
It's
it's
an
great to talk
okay
about
film.
Wayne's
It's
World, though.
fine.
It's still great to talk about Wayne's World. I love the franchise. It's the second one especially as well. I love the follow up. What about you? Were you much the fan of the first one or the second one, or were you a fan of both?
I love the first one a lot. I enjoyed the second one, but like the first one, I feel like almost every scene is quotable. Like the whole thing with Alice Cooper, just like all of those moments, so good, so good. Like the donut shop, no, what was it? No Stairway to Heaven moment, like Foxy Lady, like all of this, so good. They don't make them like that anymore. Like it's like how can you get better? Uh, Mike Myers, brilliant, brilliant. And
Uh,
Dana Carvey, brilliant.
uh,
Just
I
national
totally
treasure,
agree.
right?
Yes. There's another film I love from around about that same era, Married an Axe Murderer
Yes,
from
yes. I like Michael
1993.
Myers,
Very
like
underrated.
his weird like comedies. Yeah, that's so good too.
Uh,
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Okay, so that one I have to revisit. I'll just like mark that on my list. I'm always
no,
making a list. I don't know if you have like on I have an iPhone, and so on the iPhone I'm always like, whenever somebody talks about a film or a show, I'm always like jumping to my phone trying to write it down and hoping that I remember what I was talking about, later on.
yeah, I
It's
feel like
like
I got a few
random notes.
notepads. I got a few notepads probably going around my computer of like albums I have to pick up or songs that I've been introduced to. So same, different. Like yeah, Axe Murderer, get to it. Like with your family, I reckon they'll love that one. My mom introduced me to that one because it's like one that no one really talks about in Mike Myers. In fact, if they're able to do a pointless segment on Mike Myers, that would probably be the pointless movie.
I thought it was great. I like it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. I love that one too. Well, thank you for doing this, Anastasia. It's been great to get to know your career and especially about all the great things you've been up to. If anyone wants to stay in touch with all your quirkiness and everything that is to do with Anastasia Elfman, where can we find you?
Oh, where can't you find me? That's the real question. No, just kidding. I'm on all the social medias, I guess. I'm on Instagram, Anastasia Elfman, and then our films have pages too. So my husband Richard Elfman, and then Bloody Bridget film, Forbidden Zone, and then we have like another sci-fi horror comedy called Aliens, Clowns, and Geeks. I play like six roles. I did, second unit makeup, costuming. I did stunts, stunt driving, crazy stuff. So that was from a few years ago. So that's Instagram. Same on Facebook, Anastasia Elfman. And then YouTube. I'm on TikTok technically, but I don't understand it. I don't really like it. But if you like it, go for it. The more the merrier. Just follow me everywhere. And then I have a website, AnastasiaElfman.com, that we're like always adding to. And then same with Rick, RichardElfman.com. Yeah. So
Beautiful. You've been great, and obviously with the links with all the Elfman stuff as well as being able to great to talk about Oingo Boingo, because honestly, who doesn't know Danny Elfman better than someone who is blood related?
Well, yeah, by marriage, yes, yes.
By marriage, sorry, yes.
um, yes, I know. You know what's funny is that he's kind of shy, and then I'm just naturally very shy. So I always have to pretend like I don't know anything. Like I'm not his biggest fan, because it would be awkward to go to like a family dinner or like Thanksgiving, like some kind of holiday out here, and like just like grill him on all of his wonderful, film and music history. So yeah. Anyways, I have to pretend, like what? What do you do? What? I don't know everything that you've ever done before. I'm not a huge fan. No.
I totally haven't hyperfixated in your career at all
Right?
whatsoever. I
It's
don't have
healthy.
all
It's
the
healthy.
albums with me
Yeah, it's
right now on
healthy.
my desk.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly, exactly. You know what's funny is now I'm like talking a little bit more to like him and then like my sister-in-law Bridget Fonda. I love this film that she was in called Monkey Bones because I'm a huge Henry Selick fan and I love stop motion. And so I've been doing like a lot of different interviews on Monkey Bones and she has been like so gracious with letting me ask her like little questions because like because I do a lot of like podcasts, like deep dives on my favorite horror films or like horror shows, anything like that. And so I like to ask because we have all these friends that have worked, they have like such wonderful careers and have worked on all of these films. Like for Bloody Bridget, our VFX guy, Kevin Kuchever, he's worked on everything like RoboCop, Gremlins, Beetlejuice, like what hasn't he worked on? And so I get to like text him a little bit, like every time, and get all these behind the scenes things. So I'm doing a little bit better, not being so shy.
fair enough. You've done one for Dexter recently. My dad, who's sitting right next to me right here, loves Dexter. What do you think on
I
it?
love Dexter too. Yay! Dexter is so great. Well, I love like OG proper Dexter. I didn't really get into like Original Sin that much because I'm obsessed. Don't even get me started. We could just talk about Dexter.
I mean, we
I'm
can if we
obsessed.
want. We have time.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Where do I go from here? I love Michael C. Hall. I think he's one of our greatest living actors and doesn't get enough credit. He's so nuanced, and I love everything that I've ever seen him in or listened to. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, and so his audio book with Michael C. Hall narrating on what's it called? Audible for Pet Cemetery. Oh my God. It's like Dexter reading you a nighttime story. It's so wonderful because a lot of that novel is happening. It's like an internal monologue for the lead character. So it's just so wonderful. And I love Michael C. Hall, love Dexter. And I'm enjoying the new series. I mean, it's not as good as the original for me, but I think it's great that we get him back because he's such a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
Are you watching the new series?
I've seen the prequel stuff, but I dare say I have not ventured my little toes into actual Dexter itself. So that's a to do.
Oh, wait, you haven't watched the original Dexter?
I have never seen the original Dexter. My dad has only seen it.
Wow. Okay. Well, props to Dad. Good job, Dad. Now you got to get him to watch it. He probably can't hear me at all.
No, he's busy doing work. The kind of shows that I like to watch are sitcom shows. I'm a massive fan of the Drew Carey Show, for example. That just turned
Okay.
30.
Interesting. Okay. Wild.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
great
know if
show.
I've
I
like
love
met anybody who's like, I love the Drew Carey show.
it's great fun, and like they incorporate a bit of the Who's Line stuff as seasons go on, and I guess it kind of where all that formation of the improv stuff come from really stemmed from the Drew Carey show and the original UK Who's Lines anyway. So
I love that when I come across it, it always catches me. I have to sit down and watch because I love all of those, improv comedians. They're so talented. Like, how do you, I guess like if you're doing that enough, you get a feel for it and you're funny anyways, but I just like, I'm always like, how are you going to get out of this one? Like, and then they do it. They do an amazing job making me laugh.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Probably one of my longest running shows I've seen, and it's pretty evident by the stuff behind me on the couch because I just got it yesterday. Doctor
Oh, Doc, yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing.
Who. I got tapes, I got DVDs, and some books. But no, yeah, that's been a part of
You're
me. Like,
a light
um,
fan, right?
no, I'm genuine mega fan. Like, I've been watching it
I
since I was
know.
like little, but little. Raised on the family of Whovians. Let's just say that.
Wonderful.
Well, yeah, there you go. There it is. The end of the podcast episode for another day. As always, thank you, Anastasia Elfman. You've been great to talk to. We'll have the links in the bio for the video. Anything else you want to add before we close this?
Uh, no, I think that's it. We covered so much. This was such a great time chatting with you. Thanks for thinking of me and having me on. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, let's stay connected. This was super fun.
yeah, and hopefully you can bring all your stuff to Australia because obviously we got a great film scene here in Australia. I mean, Warner Brothers Studios in Queensland would be great.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you know what the wonderful thing is that I would say a majority of our bookings come from fans that ask like festivals or different like art house cinemas to reach out to us and book us. So I would say if you have a favorite theater or a favorite festival, reach out to them and say, you guys have to get the Elfmans down here. They put on a pretty good show, or however you want to say it.
beautiful. Well,
But yeah, we
yeah,
love to. We love touring. We love traveling. I love meeting new people. I love like that we could, as fans, we can experience Forbidden Zone the way that Rick wanted it experienced, like, on the big screen and with a crowd. So whenever there's an opportunity to do that, I always nudge Rick to say yes, as long as we can do it and it's good with our daughter, or she'll come with us. So yeah, we're down to party.
it's beautiful. Well, I got a friend here in Australia who has seen Forbidden Zone 10 times in one sitting, so I reckon they'd be very keen to come and see it.
How wild. Well, there's some fun stuff happening. I don't know how public I can be about it right now, but if you dig Forbidden Zone, there's some fun stuff in the works. So keep an eye out on for Rick announcing different stuff. So things that the fans have been asking for. And that,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I found the soundtrack at a Geelong sort of comic store. I actually had tagged the Forbidden Zone account when I found it and said, it's here in Australia. Because, like, oh my goodness,
Wild.
I've never seen this before. And here it is in a little comic store in Geelong CBD, the soundtrack to one of the greatest, wackiest, outlandish films to ever have been printed to man.
Yeah, it's a kooky film, right? That's so
Yeah,
crazy that it made its little way from the sixth dimension to you.
in the down under dimension.
There we go. Yep. I didn't want to say it, but thank you.
Beautiful.